What is up, guys? Welcome. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I'm Nathan. That's Jordan. He's dead. We're about to do another video of there are only two genders. Change my mind. Let's see how this goes.
Trans woman, that could put her at risk of murder. You understand that? Because people think because you're trans.
I hate to ruin your polite discourse, but you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting that in display for the whole world.
Fourth installment of Real Conversations. Change my mind. For those who haven't seen the series, this is just a series here where we set up shop,
real
pick a controversial topic, and allow people to change my mind. Sit down, unedited. You get to see what happens when a real conversation transpires. Now,
Question: Are you arguing that there's not more than like man and woman? Or are you arguing there's not a difference between sex and gender, or?
Yeah, I think there are two genders, male and female.
Okay, so you're saying that male and female is a gender, not a sex.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Both.
Okay, and see that's where I would have to disagree.
Okay.
Is
How
saying
so?
that male and female is something that would be by birth. For example, you probably have a penis, a male sex organ, as would I. But
Why would you assume that?
do you?
But you assumed it though.
Okay, I did. I apologize.
No, listen. You don't need.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do any gotcha.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that you assumed that I have a penis. Why?
Because you seem. I don't know, man.
Is it because of a societal construct?
Yes.
That's why?
Yes.
It wasn't because of my bone structure or my penis bulge.
Well, that male and female.
All in conversation.
Corrosive violence against.
Gender that those people.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So. When we say there are only two genders, we often confuse the idea of gender and sex.
Sure.
Sex is a generalization of XY chromosomes, so we assume that, or XY, XX, combination of chromosomes. So we assume that male and female comes from your chromosomes, right? But that's really just the idea that there's only two possibilities of sex, right? So even within sex itself, you can be born intersex, which
Okay.
means that you're born with sexual characteristics of both what we would consider male and female. And then you have gender, and gender is more about a mental state based off of societal norms. So within our Western
mental
society, we
state
often discuss
based off of societal.
gender as being binary, meaning
Whatever.
that there's two options.
Sure.
So boy, girl, man, woman. However,
Boy, girl, man, woman. What does a boy become? A man. What does a girl become? A woman. Congratulations, you just double-crossed yourself.
in other societies, non-Western societies, there are more than two options.
No, there are not more. Okay, I'll give you that, but it's not as crazy as
Okay. Can I ask you a couple
Yeah.
questions there to unpack? Appreciate you taking the time, by the way. So what was your name?
Madison.
Madison. So let's go to the sex concept before gender, I think, because the idea of gender being different from sex is predicated on the idea that sex is binary. That's where you mentioned that term, gender binary. So you mentioned intersex. Okay, I'm aware of intersex. Now, of course, intersex doesn't necessarily mean that someone is completely between sexes. Usually they have very identifiable characteristics, like a very large clitoris or micro penis. In that case, it also affects 0.08. People think this is funny, it's just true. Less than 0.08% of
but
population Earth.
but they still
exist. Let me ask you this. In human anatomy class, how many fingers are you taught human beings have?
We're told typically that people have 10. However, there are people born with 11
But you're
fingers.
taught 10, right?
Yeah.
So we don't teach people there are people born with 11 fingers, there are people born with 12 fingers.
Yeah, but we don't completely dismiss that those people exist just because that they're uncommon, do we?
We teach that human beings have 10 fingers. I would wager that everyone here has been taught, yeah, human beings have 10 fingers. Of course, there are anomalies. That's the same way that we treat intersex, or these, as you said, you mentioned chromosomes, genetic abnormalities that are a very extreme case. So I think what we need to do is remove this extreme case with sex, just as we would with how many fingers, toes, how many kidneys you have, how many feet you have. There's something that's typical, there's something that's atypical. Then you go to gender. This is where, listen, I'm open. Everyone has said sex is different from gender, and gender is not non-binary. So I would allow you to kind of unpack that for me.
Yeah, so in Western society at least, so in our country, in our society, we tend to think of gender to be on this binary spectrum of you don't, well, not even really a spectrum, just a binary. So you have man, woman, and that's it. Those are the only two options. However, gender really is more of a spectrum. So it's non-binary. There are not just two options.
Okay.
You have man, woman, and then everything that doesn't fit into just man and woman is considered non-binary.
Actually,
That's an
according to
umbrella
the US
term,
government, it's
and that
considered
includes
other.
a lot of different categorizations.
If we categorized every gender that existed, you know how many boxes we'd have to fill for your license? Male, female, I don't know. Halfway, I have a penis and boobs. I have no boobs, but have a JJ. I got this and that. I have an innie and an outie. I have a micro penis. I'm a lesbian. I'm a bisexual. I'm a pansexual. I'm sexually attracted to pots. That's all I have to say.
So how many genders are
That's
there?
not gay.
You can't put a number on the number of genders because everyone uses different words to classify themselves.
I would disagree. I'm not. That's where it changed my mind. I'm not convinced that anyone can just use any classification for themselves for their gender, and certainly not that then we have to compel society to address them this way, right? I'm sure you can understand that the compelling of language is an issue.
So what gender do you think you are?
Well, I'm a male.
Okay, well I think you're a woman.
No, legally I'm a male.
Oh,
It says on my driver's license that I'm a male.
okay, so that's your sex.
No, it's yeah. I'm also a
That's your
male.
sex. It's your sex.
It says on
okay.
my carrier
So,
certificate
I
that I'm a
don't-
male.
what if I said I
Gender.
don't
Some legal
believe you?
documentation say gender.
What if I say I don't believe you?
You're wrong.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly, it doesn't matter if you don't believe me.
No, it doesn't matter because biologically,
What gender do you think I am?
I would assume you're female.
Yeah, see, you're making assumptions.
Yes.
I identify as non-binary.
I don't respectfully. It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Now, let me
actually.
ask you this: what would
It
you
matters
say if
because
I
it
have?
matters what pronouns you use for me. It matters how I'm
Okay.
socialized in society. It matters my gender expression. It matters the way that I'm allowed to express myself. It matters what bathroom I use. It matters who I'm allowed to live with. It affects every aspect of my life. So you saying
What pronoun should I use?
You should use they them pronouns. So you saying that you
And what
don't
if I
believe
don't?
me.
What if I don't?
If you don't, I would consider that disrespectful, and that's actually an act of violence to misgender a trans
It's an
person
act of
or-
violence.
That is an act
is
of
not an
violence
act
to
of
intentionally
violence. Definition of violence. Violence, behavior involving physical force. Haha. Beat you, non-binary, they, them, it, out, any, outie, he, she, they, them, in chair, cactus, binary, chair, CPU, GPU, camera, alt-I, extra, G. Ha!
Gender someone,
See,
yes.
Here we come to the issue, and this is why I'm out here. You just said that's an act of violence. That means it's an
Yes.
actionable offense. That means it's a crime. So you believe that for
I didn't
me?
say it's a crime. I said it's an act of violence.
act of
There's a lot of
violence.
things that are not considered
Violence
crimes
is a
or
crime.
acts of violence.
Okay, so you believe it's a non-aggressive act of violence.
I think that, okay, when you misgender someone, if you were to misgender a trans woman,
Yes.
trans women, especially trans women of color, are have the highest rate of murder within the LGBT community, right? So if you were to intentionally misgender a trans woman, that could put her at risk of murder. You understand that? Because
No,
people think because
I
you're
don't.
trans.
So I accidentally called Jordani back there, she. I could possibly put him on risk for murder? My bad, homie. He gonna end up in the streets of Detroit tomorrow.
I don't understand. I'm
I think
sorry, I
that
don't
really does
understand.
show that you're privileged in the situation.
You're
then.
privileged. You're
Yeah.
the same
I think
color.
we're both-
I think you're extremely privileged in the situation that you
You're
don't have to
extremely
experience that, or that you
privileged
don't
in
have to
this
worry about that, or consider that you don't feel like you need to respect people's pronouns.
I'm considering this, and I'm asking you.
You're saying that he does not respect you. What if he is Christian? What if he is Jewish? What if he is Muslim? People have religious beliefs, and they believe that they cannot respect those. So who gives a shit about respect? You don't know each other.
Questions. You said these are the pronouns I need to use.
Yeah.
I said, what if I don't? You said that's an act of violence.
Yeah, I would
So I'm
consider
trying
that
to
an act of violence against me.
Okay, so
I
that's a
would
crime.
consider that
An act of violence against you is a crime.
I would consider that.
So,
I would consider
do you
you being disrespecting me as a person, and that's not okay. And that's
Disrespecting you as a person is not a crime.
not even ethical. It doesn't matter if it's legal. It's not ethical.
Then why did you state it was an act of violence? Violence is a crime.
And I don't know how you can do something that's considered unethical.
I don't know how you can not allow me to speak and ask questions based on your own premises. Please, we're trying to keep this civil. I haven't yelled at you. I haven't
I'm not
accused you of
yelling.
anything. You're getting very heated. You said that's an act of violence. That's a crime. Okay.
I didn't say that was a crime. You're
An
putting
act of
words in
violence.
my
You said
mouth. I
an
never
act
said
of
that.
violence.
Back to the definition. Behavior involving physical force intended to hurt, damage, or kill someone or something. Is violence a crime? In the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting (UCR) program, violence is a crime composed of 4 offenses: murder, nonviolent manslaughter, forcible, can't say that, robbery, and aggravated assault. Violence crimes. Ta-da.
Violence against you is a crime. So
I did not say that.
You said it is an act of violence against you.
I said it's an act of violence,
An act
and
of
I
violence
said
is crime.
misgendering anyone's an act of violence.
Yes, you said it is an act of violence against that person. That is, in fact, a crime. So here's my question. Since we've now decided we don't know the number of genders, it's a spectrum. It exists. There is no set number. You've asserted the premise that we are required to use the pronouns that are preferred by the individual. We have no idea how many pronouns there are. We can never know how many pronouns there are. And to not use a proper pronoun
You could ask.
is an act of violence against them. Did you ask my pronouns before you sat down?
No, I didn't ask your pronouns because
Why?
I haven't referred to you with pronouns.
You didn't ask my pronouns, though. You just said you can ask.
Yeah, you can ask. What are your pronouns?
But you didn't ask.
What are your pronouns?
You just talked about me being privileged. You understand? No one goes around asking pronouns before they speak with people.
I asked
and
you
so
how
to
you
ask of a
identify yourself.
restructuring of society
I did ask you how you
based on
identify
a number
yourself.
that's
Did I
not tangible with gender versus sex is something that is
Did I
incredibly
not,
corrosive.
Did I not ask you how you identify yourself?
No, I don't believe so.
Yes, I did. I did actually. You said you identify as male, and that would.
After the conversation, sure. Okay, well
Yeah.
let's say that. Sure. So we need to ask pronouns before every person.
yeah.
And if we don't use those
if you don't-
pronouns,
Yeah,
how many pronouns are there?
they're. It's the same kind of thing. There aren't like
I'm
a
sorry, would you
limited
just
number of
so
pronouns.
people can see the sign? Would it be okay if you just step aside for just a second there?
There's not
we
a
also have a
limited
camera
number
going.
of pronouns.
Thank you very much. There's no limited number of pronouns.
No, I would
But if
say
someone-
the typical ones are she, her, hers, him, his, her, his.
Okay.
Sorry, him, he, him, his, and
Y'all don't even know your own goddamn pronouns. Y'all need a list. Y'all need like a dictionary. Jordan, does a gay dictionary exist? There's too many hims, hers, highs,
they, them, theirs. Those are the typical number of pronouns. We usually use 3.
Okay.
Typically, you're making a
I just
generalization.
again, the goal is here to change my. I'm open to new ideas.
Yeah,
There's no set
yeah.
different kind of space around us. I think no one's being accosted here. We're just having a conversation.
There's no question of accosting. We're just trying to like bring the conversation so that it's not like a kind of like a separate stage spectacle kind of deal. So like we're all in conversation around and we can like engage with your sign. And
Sure, I appreciate it. But it's not though. It's a conversation between 2 willing participants right
I
now,
would
and I
be okay
will
with
go.
other people talking as well, though.
I'm not. I don't consent. So,
this is your setup and we're supposed to just follow your
Yes.
rules. And this
yes, when one is invited and we've gotten the proper permissions, and I've said,
open campus, a college campus.
Sure, it's an open
We
campus.
can actually do whatever we want.
you can do whatever you want. You can protest, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to be engaging in conversation with the crowd.
Necessarily have to be my rules. What's your name?
No, that's not incorrect.
I'm a student
But I would love to continue my conversation here. So when we talk about gender and sex, right? This is a very new idea. You said in Western society.
It's not a new idea.
Really?
No, it's not a
So
new idea.
when did
There-
gender theory start? When did gender and sex become separate?
Well, they're actually, it's not necessarily the idea of gender theory. It's the idea that there have been different genders outside of man, woman for centuries.
Okay, how so?
Yeah. India. Yeah.
India,
In
sure.
India, they have third gender. Native American cultures, they have third genders.
Sure.
In ancient Egypt, they had third genders.
Okay.
So it's a
Which
very
were male
Western
and
idea
female.
to say that there are only 2 genders and that this whole thing is a new idea changing our
Well,
culture,
you know what else is
changing
a very
our
Western
society.
idea? So it seems to me your presupposition there, correct me if I'm wrong, is that because other cultures have done this, there's a precedent.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think that
Well,
we're
you do-
hermetically sealed in any way.
So you do realize, and you talked about how very different it was from Western culture. So antithetical to Western culture, you named India, ancient Egypt. You know what else? We also believe in that's antithetical to those cultures. We're against slavery.
What?
that just-
I'm sorry. I'm really confused as to why you brought slavery
Let me-
into
let
the
me-
discussion
let-
about gender.
I would love to bring it up.
Yeah, that's kind of a
My
red
point
herring
is,
on your
because
part.
your premise is because it's found in other societies, therefore it's okay, or it is to be good. My point
I
is
don't
there
see
are
how
plenty
it's
of other
harmful.
practices. Well, I'm trying to get to why I believe it's
Yeah.
harmful, and you're explaining why you don't. But the point is, if something was practiced in another society, and it was harmful in another society, and we agree that it's harmful, for example, we both agree that slavery was harmful, we both agree that maybe cannibalism is harmful. You can find these practices in societies. My point is, it's not a valid argument to simply say it's been found in other societies if that practice is harmful. So it comes down to the idea of, is it productive or harmful for us to separate the idea of sex and gender?
Other on a form, like you said, the ramifications for that in legal
Yeah.
So that's the question.
so,
other societies have done harmful things. I think
yeah,
we can agree
but
that
I
doesn't
don't-
necessarily mean that it's
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
I don't think respecting someone's identity makes that harmful. I don't understand.
Okay. We're gonna bring that back a second because they're choking over their own words.
Societies, if that practice is harmful. So it comes down to the idea of, is it productive or harmful for us to separate the idea of sex and gender?
Other on a form, like you said, the ramifications for that in legal.
Yeah.
So that's the question.
so,
other societies have done harmful things. I think we
Yeah,
can agree
but
that
I
doesn't
don't-
necessarily mean that it's
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
I don't think respecting someone's identity makes that harmful.
You don't think that respecting you don't think that respecting someone's is harmful. Is harmful to their religion, is harmful to their morals, it is harmful to their way of life. You're the one that specifically said being of the homosexual persuasion changes your day-to-day your how you live. You're the one that said if you call a trans woman Jordan, a trans woman means they're a dude that became a woman, right?
I don't know.
Even he doesn't know. And he's part of the gang. Their club. She's choking on her own words. Also choked on that hair of hers. She looked like she came right straight out of prison. She got that buzz cut.
I don't
Goddamn,
understand.
pointy ass
And
nose.
I don't agree
double
with you
chin going on.
comparing gender identity to cannibalism or slavery. That seems pretty offensive.
How is that offensive? You're the one that said it was... You're the one that said it was... The social standards were based on because of they predated America itself. They were in the past. You went to ancient Egypt, India. That was... Those were cultural standards. Those were culturally set. And now you're the one going back saying, no, that does not have a relevance.
I know, it seems you
Yeah,
think a lot
it's
of what I've
pretty
said is
offensive,
offensive.
yeah.
You've been set up here from the get-go for it to be offensive, and I'm not trying to offend. Let me re-explain what it is. Take any practice, okay? Take the practice of neck stretching, for example, which is not harmful, okay?
It is harmful, actually.
Okay, well, some people don't think it's harmful. They don't think it's harmful in these societies. Take any practice that's relatively benign that we believe to be harmful that they don't believe to be harmful. The point is, just because another society at one point has practiced it, doesn't make it correct. Can we agree on that?
I'm sorry, I think you're making really false comparisons.
No, I'm not.
He's literally making the same
I-
comparisons you were.
I think you're
Can we
making false
agree? Can we
comparisons.
agree? Because listen, there are also many societies the other way, right, who've only ever recognized two genders, two
Yeah,
sexes.
but that doesn't mean
That's
that these
most.
other genders don't exist.
Yes, you're the one that literally said you were basing off your own ideologies based on the fact that the past in ancient Egypt, India, they were correct. They were socially set. And you're the one that just said they were agreed because you said basically they were correct. And they were, because they were socially set back in ancient Egypt, you said they were not necessarily two genders. And now, going backwards, girl.
That's most.
They, them, going backwards, them. Ugh.
So you're implying that those societies were wrong.
I'm implying that they have their other societal standards.
Right.
Societal standards are based off of a lot of things. It's very intersectional what we decide to accept in society. So if you're going to say, well, because you're
So a
making,
society can be
essentially
wrong.
making the same argument. Yeah, society
Yes,
can be wrong.
exactly.
Society was wrong about gay marriage. You know,
Sure.
I think people are wrong.
What makes you think society was wrong about gay marriage? That is your point of view.
Saying
People have
that-
other ideas.
You know, gay marriage, being gay is unnatural, and being gay is a crime.
Okay.
That's society being wrong. But you
Sure.
know what?
No, you don't. I'm not saying that I think being gay is wrong. Homeboy back there is gay, and I support him with every ounce of my body. But you're the one saying it is okay. That is your opinion, your ideology. You're definitely not correct. Nobody's correct 100% of the time. No one is perfect. Not even whatever God you worship is. Nobody's perfect. That does not mean make your ideology correct exactly. Let's say I think Trump's the best. I don't. Doesn't make me automatically correct. There is facts. They're drawing a fine line between morals and what you believe and facts. That is the fine line that is being drawn and the fine line that needs to be drawn. We're going from the facts that have been checked and facts to social decisions and what society has chosen. Are we going by facts or are we going by moral decisions? that'll be the end for this one. Guys, it's getting a bit long. Thank you guys so much. You guys want to see more episodes like this, put it in the comment section. Thank you guys so much. See you guys next one.